All right. Shalom, Makim. Start the lesson. We want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us the truth. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim that's pushing the truth and all truth and sincerity around the whole country of Geneva to our Shalom. Okay, I'm the brother Yara Ariyah from the Great Millstone Miami camp. And I come back to the spirit power of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai to make the lesson. The title lesson is going to be having faith is important. Okay, having faith in this truth is very, very important because we don't have people that was around this thing, okay, around this truth, and because they lack faith, all right, they fell out, okay, because they didn't, things weren't moving to their time, okay, they fell out, man, and that's ultimately the reason because they didn't have faith, okay. When you're someone that lacks faith, all right, when someone that lacks faith. Okay, you are going out what you can see, but faith is the test of the things of it's a test of things you can't see. Okay, because you are believing something that you cannot see as yet. Okay, so that is a test of faith. All right, that's the Lord is testing us to see if we really believe, man. All right, that's why He got us out here, prophesying. Okay, on the downfall of America and chariots destroying this place. The ICBM destroying America, spiritual power. Okay, we're not seeing these things as of yet, but we believe that these things are going to happen. Okay, we're not seeing the love of many waxing cold on a scale of people ravaging each other's goods. All right, we're not seeing that on a on a very explicit level, but we believe that it's going to come, man. Okay, but that is and that is ultimately why having faith is important, man, because you are believing something that you can't see. And and that's and that's a power in itself, man. That's low-key a superpower, man. Because we live in a world where people don't believe in the Bible. They don't adhere to the signs of the times. None of that, man. Okay, they don't care that that the Lord is coming back. That's why the Lord got to destroy them ultimately, man. Because they don't see the times that we in. But us having faith, we understand the times that we believe that the Lord's coming back to take this devil out of power. You know why? Because of the signs. Okay? Because of the earthquakes. Okay? Because of the house divided. All right. These were, some of these things were indicators. It's like it. Some of these things were indicators of, the end of the world, man. All right. And that's what boosts our faith, seeing these things, man. And that's why having faith is important because a lot of people fell out due to that reason. All right, but I had a couple precepts, lined up to the spirit, and lower this lesson is edifying. Okay, this is Romans 3 or Slakia. I had Hebrews 10 verse 23, and it says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wearying." That's right, man. The profession of faith without wearying. Okay, without being doubtful. And I want to get that in NLT Hebrews 10 and 23. I want to go into the definition of wearying. All right, it's Hebrews 10. Verse 23, it says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering." And it says, "Let us hold tightly without wavering to hope we affirm, for the Most High has trusted us to keep His promise." And that's right, man. The Most High trusted us to keep His promise. Okay, it's like it says, "For the Most High can be trusted to keep His promise." All right, and guess what that promise is? That promise is to give us everlasting life, salvation. All right, that that's a promise. Okay, so we should not waver our faith, man. And let me get that definition of wavering. It says not inclining, firm, unmoved. All right, being being firm in this faith, being firm and having faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and that takes a good amount of faith because there's people that have been in this thing 5, 10 years, 15 years that all of a sudden decide to to fall out. Okay, because they gave faith, and that's why having faith is very important. Okay, that's why being patient as well is very important. All right, understand that it's not about you, man. It's not on your timing. Okay, it's on the Lord's timing because this is the Lord's movie. Okay, there are still members of the elect that still need to be awake, man, awoken. All right, so you have to wait that way, and then who are you to believe that this is of this is of your timing? What about our elders and apostles, man? I've been doing this 30+ years. All right, they look at all our little trials and tribulation as little shit, man. Okay, they our elders and apostles here. Their brother been in this thing 5 years, 6 years, and they want to leave. Or they just gave up faith. What about our elders and apostles that have been doing it for 30+ years, man, doing the same thing? That takes a very large amount of faith and belief, okay, to still be going out, man. And that's and that should be a faith booster that there's still men that have been doing this as long as some brothers has even been alive, man. You sometimes have to just think about that, man. Just speaking for myself, I'm only 23, man. The elders and apostles been doing this longer than I've been alive, man. And that's a faith booster, man. Believing in Yahweh Shai, that's a faith booster. Okay? Being sick and then the Lord healing you, that's a faith booster. The Lord giving you daily bread. The Lord waking you up, that's a faith booster. Because the Lord can kill us in our sleep, man. All right? For the shit that we did in our past lives. So who are we to just give up and go back into the world, man? Okay? You going to your destination safely should be a faith booster. These little things that men take for granted should be faith boosters, man. Okay? That's why having faith is believing in the Lord is very, very important, man. Okay? Because these little things that the Lord do for us get overlooked, man. Okay, we sometimes get so complacent to not looking at the little things that the Lord is doing for us that's showing the little things that the Lord is doing for us, okay, these little things should boost our faith, man. Boost our faith. All right. You getting up to go to fellowship, go on the highways and byways, not getting in detrimental accidents, still being able to breathe. You should want to believe in how by Shimmy Shai. You not being a 2/3. You having a download of this truth, understanding the truth should make you want to believe in the Lord even more. Okay? And continuing on, and that's why us as men of the Lord, man, believing in Yahweh by Shema Shai, that's why we said, Tawadi Yahweh by Shema Shai for this truth. And we ask the Lord daily to boost our faith, okay? Because we understand that it's a fight. But brothers, count the little things, man. Count the little things that should be boosting your faith, okay? The little things that the Lord should do for you should be boosting your faith, man. Almost everything you do should be a faith booster. You didn't have money here, but the Lord gave you shekels. That's a faith booster. That should show that the Lord is dealing with you. You not knowing where your next meal is gonna come from, but the Lord somehow, some way, have somebody just give you money or give you food. That's a faith booster. Okay, the Lord shows us daily that He's dealing with us, man. Okay, and that's why faith is important because we believe, man. All right. This is Hebrews 11, verse 6, and it says, "But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him." Okay, so you coming to Yahweh Shimon Shai, okay, you gonna have to believe, man.
Because if you don't, the Lord gonna sift that out, man. Okay, the Lord gonna show who believe in His name and who doesn't, man. Okay, our elders and apostles been telling us that it's sifting season. Okay, that Lord is sifting people out of this truth, man. People that were not genuinely believing in the Lord. Okay, this is this is continuing. This is James 20. I'm gonna start at verse 17. It says, "Even so, faith, if it had not worked, is dead, being alone." Okay, faith. You say you're believing in the Yahweh Shema Shai. What are your works showing you that you believe in the Lord? Okay, your works, are important too. Okay, faith is important as well. Believing, but how are you going to show your belief? Not just sitting at home on the keyboards, man, watching videos, doing your lessons, studying, going out the highways and byways, being the brother. These things show faith. Okay, all right, Akim. I feel like the point has been made. All right, faith is very important, and its truth is detrimental. Okay, because that shows the Lord that we believe in Him, man. Okay, and we have to continue believing in the Lord no matter the circumstance. Okay, till we get beaten up in those chariots, man. So, Lord, willing, you are edified with that. I do want to give our praise and honor glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Shai, Bahashim, Kamadash. Double want to start Boston, Great Millstone. Lord willing, blessing is edified. With that, I want to say shalom. Brothers, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep believing. Hold your faith to Yahweh, Bahashim, Shai. Beat me up in this chariot. All right, shalom.